the investigation. So they'll be coming to look at what was damaged, shell
If we
casings, all
find
of that.
you
So
violating
just,
the law, it's
sit
the
tight.
sheriff's office.
Investigators will be in touch
We
with you.
will also
Of course, I'm sure
terminate
they
your
already are if they
employment,
were evacuated.
but we will
we
lock
promise
you
that we'll
up
be in touch with
in the
everybody
county jail.
that needs to be part of this investigation.
We're held to a higher standard. You can't police a community
Not that I'm aware of,
if you
but I have
don't
not also looked
hold
into the
yourself
history
to a
of
higher
his unit
standard than you
and this
expect
unit
of
overall.
people
So I
from the
can't say
community.
for sure or not at this time.
Then I look at them and I say, do you
I do not have that.
understand what I said? And I have them all say, yes, sir, I understand. These folks forgot. They forgot what they were taught. They obviously
in the works right now, so there's a long-term plan to go ahead and repair the infrastructure system, the water system in Jefferson Parish.
So the question was about the reverse notification system. In Broomfield, we use a system that's called Lookout Alert. You can find it at broomfield.org. That's the city's website. And the best thing to do is just take a few minutes to go on that website and register your cell phone number. Also put in one female, one male.
Hearing from these homeowners, you heard it in, I'm trying to recall, it was Keith.
I don't have any information on
Desiree.
that.
Desiree.
What kind of weapon the officer used? Was it
Lakeview. 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Lakeview.
I don't have any information
the
on that.
frustration they had in wanting some of those
Yes, correct.
solutions brought on. And then
Correct. All of our Broomfield officers wear body-worn cameras, and if they have their weapons drawn, then that automatically initiates the body cams to begin recording.
Through her home. Both said, we made the renovations.
That is something that we'll need to look into. I don't have the details
due
to their
stop this
relationship.
from happening, and then it did. So
anything else that anybody can think of? If nothing further, this will be the only press briefing today, but I will continue to put out updates via our social media, Facebook and Twitter or X. Also, we'll put out a press release later today once I get some more comprehensive information. I'll share those on our social media as well as on our website, broomfield.org/police. And if you guys don't have anything further, I think that's it. Okay.
The parish just sent this news alert to our newsroom with just some updates here about which folks need to be mindful. And a lot of this
we'll put all that, yes. Once we get the suspect's name, any information on age, any charges, anything like that, I will make sure that we put that out.
And would you guys
from
consider
Main Street to
releasing
Rudak,
anybody
due to water. We talked about that also being absent
right.
limit sewage.
Is that something you would consider?
As far as,
Yeah, that's actually a question that I can't answer because it will determine on the investigation and what command and the investigative team decides is best for the department. So it's always worth asking, but I'll tell you, we typically don't release it when it's an ongoing investigation. Okay, thank you guys.
All right, you've been listening to Rachel Hazlitt with Broomfield Police describe what unfolded this morning. We learned a lot of information in that press conference right there, but the big information being that we know one suspect is in custody. That person and one victim have been taken to a local hospital. We do not know the condition of either of them right now.
90's reporter Brianna Fernandez has been out there for the last several hours. And Brianna, you've been talking to a lot of residents in the area as well.
Because they're tarp, and so you've got some people who
tons of residents, actually. The latest one that I spoke to. She actually lives not too far from here. She has a bullet through her window. There's glass all over her room, she says. Now, I do want to show you the scene because it's changed a lot since we've been here. Again, we were first on scene on this developing story, this active shooting investigation. Police have put up crime scene tape. There's yellow tape. No one can get through. No one can come out. We have state troopers also blocking this intersection, Broomfield police as well, and we had SWAT negotiators here on scene. Now let's unfold what that press conference was, because I just heard a tad bit of what we heard from Broomfield police. We know one male suspect was taken into custody. Now, a male and a woman, a female victim, were both sent to the hospital. Unknown injuries at this time. We know that that suspect aimed at officers. There was a lot of people in danger. Again, we just heard from that woman who you're just going to hear from actually in just a couple of seconds. She had that bullet go through her window. She was in her room. She said that she was scared. She was shaking. So I want you guys to hear from her just a bit.
And then we are also talking about
I could see straight into the guy's apartment. Thank you. And I was walking my dog, and a lady came up to me and she was like, "Hey, do you know what's going on?" And that's when a gunshot flew over my head into my bedroom window. I ducked, and I've never screamed that loud in my life.
Look ahead. They're hoping to be open.
I can talk about like
those schools who are faring okay, but
when I was talking to Heather, she was shaking. It had just, everything had just happened. She was told that she needed to leave her apartment. So of course it was a very scary situation for a lot of residents who live here at the Arista Flat Apartments. Again, that first call came in just before or around 6:30 this morning. We arrived on scene about 45 minutes later, and we were the first crew on scene giving you the latest updates both on air and online. I know our Anusha Roy, she's going to break down what the press conference was between that suspect, that female victim that were sent to the hospital. For now, I'm live here in Broomfield. Brianna Fernandez for 9 News. I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio.
And Brianna, we appreciate your great reporting throughout the morning on this situation and for this latest update. Thank you.
So on the other side of the building, that's where Anusha was staged. She kind of had a little bit better of a vantage point, especially when everything kind of started to conclude here. So Anusha is joining us now. And Anusha, you saw the stretchers, you saw the ambulance, you saw it kind of unfold from the outside on the other side of the building.
Yeah, you know, and we got a little bit of clarity, like when I was just last chatting with you guys in the last hour from Broomfield Police, that it was around 9:45 when I told you guys about that huge flashbang and then several shots that were fired. That was the officers breaching into that unit, forcing their way in, and they said at least one Broomfield police officer then opened fire at that point, and that's when we started to see two of those stretchers being taken out. We now have it confirmed that it was a man, a suspect, and a woman who were both taken to the hospital. At this point, as you can imagine, we're so early into the investigation, we don't have a lot of details on how they are doing or the extent of their injuries at this point. We also don't know the relationship between that man and the woman, only that there were two adults involved in this. You know, basically what police are telling us is matching up exactly what we were seeing throughout the morning. We heard from folks who were just getting ready for the day who started to see or hear those shots fired from the surrounding units. Officers say it became such a scary situation because not only were they hearing about threats, but they also knew that this person was shooting at surrounding units into the parking lot. The PIO said at one point they were even firing shots at the officers as well, and that's why they were doing those limited evacuations as best as possible while trying to keep everyone's safety in mind and top priority at this point. There's a lot of questions that have to be still answered about how the situation unfolded. The negotiations themselves lasted about 3.5 hours or so. And again, we were hearing from folks here, police also saying that they were encouraging that person inside to put their guns down. They were trying all of the different tactics to try to de-escalate the situation. But ultimately, at 9:45, with that flashbang and with that last round of
that information. We'll bring that to you once we learn it across the networks of 9 News as well as on 9news.com. We'll have more information for you on 9 News at noon and then, of course, on 9 News at 3 o'clock as well. Right now, that's it for us. Thank you very much for being with us for this breaking news. We will return to regular programming.
This press conference will follow our normal format. We will hear from our mayor and then Colin, will visit with you after the follow-up questions. And with that, once again, thank you.
Okay, it looks like Mayor is just getting ready.
Thank you, Mr. Terry. And again, as Mr. Terry indicated,